clearly, as Trump admitted in front of everyone today, she loves Israel more than the United States. So why are you here other than to facilitate
to bribe our
the
politicians.
transfer, of money in the form of bribes from a foreign government to our politicians, and then the transfer of US taxpayer money from our country to Israel. These people are traitors to the country.
I kept my promise and officially recognized the capital of Israel and moved the American embassy to Jerusalem. Isn't that right, Miriam? Look at Miriam, she's back there. Stand up, Miriam, stand up. Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office, they'd call me. He'd call me. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. Look at her sitting there so innocently. She's got 60 billion in the bank, 60 billion. She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say.
In that case, her citizenship should be revoked and she should be deported to Israel where she belongs. Now, President Donald Trump thanked his masters while visiting Israel today, Miriam Adelson being one of them. For those wondering who she is the woman who bribed him with $100 million in the last election cycle in order to essentially get the president to allow Israel to annex the West Bank, which they're currently in the process of doing. At least Trump understands how things work in the American political system. He knows where the bread gets buttered. And in fact, he knew all the way dating back to October of 2015 when he tweeted this. Sheldon Adelson, Miriam Adelson's husband, is looking to give big dollars to Marco Rubio because he feels he can mold Rubio into his perfect little puppet. I agree. Well, today, that puppet is President Donald Trump. Cenk, over to you.
So Sheldon and Miriam Adelson over 3 election cycles have given Donald Trump more than $337 million in legalized bribes. So the Supreme Court says, no, they're just campaign contributions and independent expenditures. By the way, that does not include dark money. That just includes the money we know of. That is a massive amount of money. Everyone that has 2 brain cells to rub together says, well, that's obviously bribery. Miriam Adelson and Sheldon giving money to Trump, and then Trump does whatever they want. In fact, Trump brags about doing whatever they want. That is not the first time that he has mentioned that he moved the embassy on behalf of the Adelsons. He has said it publicly before, because one of the reasons they gave him that bribe, there were many reasons, I actually outlined it in my book, Justice is Coming. It is incredibly well sourced and has been checked over and over again. So one of the reasons was they wanted him to move the embassy. And now in the last election cycle, by the way, one of the demands that Miriam had was also to allow America to let Israel annex the West Bank. There is no Hamas in the West Bank, but it has nothing to do with Hamas. It has nothing to do with self-defense. Miriam Adelson and Sheldon Adelson are Zionist zealots who believe in greater Israel. So their mission is to have America finance the theft of Palestinian land, and of course the genocide and ethnic cleansing that comes along with it. And now Trump is bragging about it. And in some of those pictures that were next to me, you just saw Trump putting a medal on her. What is that about? Well, after Sheldon, her late husband, gave $200 million in the last 2 cycles, 2020 and 2020. I'm sorry, 2016 and 2020. He gave Miriam Adelson a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
She looks like a villain. It's amazing.
So look, Presidential Medal of Freedom used to be the highest honor in America. Now it's a tchotchke you throw in if you get enough, and you get these Ginsu knives. You get the West Bank, you get to slaughter everybody in the Gaza Strip. You get to steal all their lands and set up greater Israel. And if you act now and give me $337 million, I'll throw Ginsu knives and a Presidential Medal of Freedom in for you. And then I'll say it publicly in front of everyone. Oh, by the way, there's Miriam, the person who betrayed America and couldn't answer the simplest question. What are you more loyal to, America or Israel? That's the easiest question in the world. America is the correct answer because we came here to be Americans. But she couldn't answer that question. Why? Because everybody knows. You come here, you become a citizen here. She's also an Israeli citizen. You can become a citizen here so you could funnel Israeli money into American politicians legally. And then when people tell you, hey, it looks like your PAC says it's done on behalf of Israel, a foreign government, you go, how dare you? That is anti-Semitic, dual loyalty trope. How dare you?
These are just trope. It's literally true. It is literally true. She's a good little foot soldier for a foreign government. And clearly, as Trump admitted in front of everyone today, she loves Israel more than the United States. So why are you here? Other than to facilitate
to bribe our
the
politicians.
Transfer, of money in the form of bribes from a foreign government to our politicians, and then the transfer of US taxpayer money from our country to Israel so they can commit their atrocities and engage in empire building. Anyway, so that's what's going on. It's just so utterly loathsome and disgusting, but that is what we're dealing with here. The fact that he talked about that as if it's something to joke about, something to laugh about, something to have a good time about. These people are traitors to the country, okay? They are.
So look, guys, the Supreme Court legalized those bribes, but they're still bribes. It's not like Miriam Adelson and Sheldon gave him $337 million so that he could do good in the world or cure cancer or some other reason. No, they very explicitly gave it to him to help a foreign government.
Steal land.
And Trump says it all the time. So every person with common sense, 99% of us see, yes, this is obviously on behalf of Israel. Then Trump says, yes, I took the donor money and then I sold American foreign policy to that donor. He says it right in front of everyone. The only people left not acknowledging it are the reporters in mainstream media. Even though Trump says it himself. Trump says it himself, and they're like, nope, 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 nope. Let's hide the donor class. Let's hide the Israeli supporters here in America. And if anybody criticizes them, anti-Semite, ruin their lives. So what are you guys? You're not news, you're Israeli, you're pathetic Israeli propagandists. Everyone in mainstream media. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.